Initial thoughts, I thought our guys did an incredible job of understanding the game plan, executed it to a T. It's always hard when you get a lead like that at halftime to keep on it, but I thought we withstood that kind of initial run they had in the second half. And then from there, I think it was just not holding on, but we just did a great job of making them do what we wanted them to do. And they're a team that's really dangerous from the three-point line. A team that, if you let Rozga, Pemberton, Neff, you let those guys, Krafka, get threes, they become really, really dangerous. And we did a great job up until the last, 2 minutes of the game where they went, they made 2 threes. They were three for 9 going up to that point and finished the game 5 for 11. But for them to shoot 56 shots and only 11 to come from the three-point line, I mean, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted them to try to beat us by making twos. And that's what happened, and we kept them off the foul line. They're a team that's as good as anybody in the country getting the foul line. Amigo puts a lot of pressure on you down low, but our guys did a good job of not fouling and also not picking up silly fouls that gets them into the bonus sooner, because if you get those guys into the bonus, you're in trouble because they got some guys that can really shoot free throws. And for us, from the offensive standpoint, to execute like that against a team that has really good defensive numbers and defensive stats, it kind of was the team that I was kind of expecting from day one a little bit in terms of just the firepower when, you got Jordan Davis, Andre Spite, and Anthony Johnson in terms of their ability to score. And when those three guys are on at the same night, which has really kind of been the first time all season that all three guys were kind of on at the same time, we're really hard to guard and we're really hard to beat. And I'm proud of Andre, Dre, and Anthony for. I really have challenged them over the course of the first 10 games of the season, not necessarily about making or missing shots. Now, understanding how to take the right shots, because I think that correlates in terms of they're shooting the right shots, you're gonna make shots, because those guys are too good of shooters to be shooting the percentage they have. But just their approach that they brought to practice, their energy they brought to practice over the course of the last 2 weeks, I think has really helped our team take a step in the right direction. And then I said defensively, I mean, we're guarding people as well as anybody in the country right now defensively.
Well, I was going to get the defense too, but in terms of overall, that may be as good a first half as I've seen in a long, long time. The tempo never let up. I knew there was no way it was going to maintain that pace for 40 minutes, and it was a little slower in the second half. But the up and down the floor and the conversion, and I look here finally, 25 points off of 18 turnovers. I think your guys really came right off the bat and almost like hit him right in the mouth to start with. And it was like, hey, this is the way it's going to be. And when you're doing that and making shots, then it's like putting an exclamation point on it. Did you feel like that first half was like really outstanding?
Yeah, I mean, I was excited for our guys because I've been really, I've been preaching to the public about, getting out and supporting these guys because, they're a group that, when they do figure it out, which they figured it out in the first half, I mean, that's as fun of a basketball team as you can watch in college basketball. And for,
that was awesome.
And for them to, to be able to kind of, to have a decent crowd and to see the energy that they gave the crowd, and in turn, the crowd gave them energy. I thought that was something that, we haven't seen quite yet since we've been here. And I thought our guys earned that. That's something that you have to earn. You got to earn people coming back to watch you play. And I think with that performance, I mean, those people in the stands, they're going to go back and tell somebody else, hey, that's a team that you want to go watch and you want to get behind.
As good as the offense was, 59.3% in the first half and 52.9% from three-point line, how good was the defense?
The defense was really good. I mean, for them to, let's say, they only attempted 2 threes. And that was a team, like I said, we felt like we couldn't give them threes. They're really dangerous in transition. In terms of shooting threes, we knew that there's certain ways they like to get their threes. Once you slow them down, you get them into a half-court game. Our guys really did a good job of not getting beat to the baseline, did a good job of fanning out on the middle drives, did a good job of not getting sucked in when Amigo caught the ball in the post. We just felt like those guards, they're not capable of beating you by shooting tough twos all night long, and they got good guards. And a guy like Jonah Radabaugh, the energy and effort that he put forth to guard a guy like Joe Rozga, even though Joe ended up with 14 points, I mean, he made him earn every single point that he got. But I said, from a defensive standpoint, I mean, that's about as good as it can get. And there's guys, a guy like Anthony Johnson who, I'm always on about his defense. I mean, I thought he did a really good job there for the most part of really, kind of setting the tone with the pressure on the wings, not letting them get easy catches. And it was, like I said, it was as good of a first half as I've seen in a long time. It was as good of a first half as I've seen, since I've been here.
Jeff, how good is this team in terms of reaching cohesiveness right about now?
I think we're heading in the right direction. I mean, I think that, with all teams, I mean, you got to go through some adversity, you got to go through some up and downs, you got to kind of figure out roles, you got to figure out rotations. And, a guy like Anthony Johnson who, at first was, probably thought it was crazy to try to bring him off the bench, but, ultimately, as I told him, I mean, you're going to see it's going to be the best for you and it's going to be best for the team. And I think he's really starting to understand how to fit that role. He's starting to understand, in terms of just the winning plays that he can make, with his athleticism, with his strength. And, I just think that those guys, I mean, now, hey, it's one game, but I think over the course of the last, you can even look at the UC Davis game. At UC Davis, you're up 11 with 3 minutes left, and, you're on a pretty big winning streak right now. And so those guys, they're believing, they like each other. There's
you can go about
there's
8
no
deep, I
egos.
think, from where I'm sitting, about 8 deep.
Yeah.
I don't see much of a let-up.
No, there's not, and that's the beauty of being able to bring a guy like Anthony Johnson and a guy like Chaz Galata off the bench to where now, you got guys, guy like Anthony Johnson who can go get 40 in a Division I game. I mean, he's a guy that goes and gets 28 against Southern Miss. He's a guy that gets 23 tonight. He's a guy that's
23 minutes.
Yeah, he's instant offense, and when he starts really figuring it out on the defensive end, which he took a step in the right direction tonight. I mean, he's a hard guy to. As I told him, your job is to make it to where I can't take you off the floor, and that's what he did tonight in the first half until he got tired, and I had to get him out. But it was definitely a step in the right direction for us.